literally have no time left at all because the organisers have said that you must do a feedback session before we go, and that's going to take about 5 minutes. So I'll get started. I will be talking about how the EXPO 2020 themes shape our curriculum at Jim's Wellington International School. I work in the primary school, so everything that I'm going to be speaking about is mainly going to be from a primary perspective. I know that the leaflet did
all the written work from it is that you have to inspire.
I apologise because I have
to achieve potential,
but hopefully you can take away some ideas for second. Everything okay at the back? Yeah. So just to tell you a little bit,
we want
the creative
to have successful today, prepared for tomorrow.
excellent.
And that's kind of what we'll be speaking a lot about today with free flow and peak art. The first program we're going to speak about is to kind of go through how it works in our school and how.
So the first thing I thought I'll speak to you about is why the change. Why did we think to use the EXPO themes to change our curriculum? And the reason for that is because it was quite outdated. We were using a very topic-based approach that a lot of British schools use. So this term we will be learning about the Egyptians. This term we will be learning about
very much child initiated.
And
FS come up to year one, we wanted to give them that same opportunity for choice and critical thinking.
National curriculum.
But to look at the timetable and
being taught explicitly, and they were not being taught very well. There was a lack of innovation. It was topics that had been around for a good number of years, and we were just reusing them. And we had outstanding learning environments. We had beautiful displays. We had beautiful corridors. And we had nice lessons, but actually when you dug deep and you started to look into those lessons, you started to pick apart the plan.
And basically, you can what on the slide here,
what geography skill was taught, what history skill was taught. And the children couldn't always tell us that, and staff couldn't always tell us that. Come in, guys. I'll just let them choose walking, so I'm not talking over people walking. So really that was the reason for
imagination, because imagination is obviously really
innovation leader, not last year but the year before.
Opportunity to explore.
She was invited
to try new
an event with EXPO 2020, and once they spoke about the three themes of opportunity, mobility and sustainability, she sort of had this idea and vision that actually these fit in really, really nicely with the fact that we have three terms in a school. So that's where the sort of idea came from and how we've moved forward. So we have now used this for the last year in our school. We're in our second year, and we're finding it really successful, which is why I wanted to share it with you. So I'm just going to share with you a video. It's just a short video about the vision of our school, and within here you'll see the skills that are being pushed forward by KHDA, some of the innovation skills, and all of these are embedded into our planning in every lesson. So I just want to enjoy it all.
That
effectively in the classroom. So what does effective research mean?
They must paraphrase information from the website.
Can anyone extend on that? What to paraphrase means?
It's when you search something and then you get the answer, but you don't really want to copy paste. You want to change the word so that you understand it more than just copy pasting. Just learning how to click a button. But when you paraphrase the information, you're gonna be more smart.
Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea. Those are the kind of skills that we're pushing in every lesson now. And that wasn't always the case through our prior, the way that we were teaching. So at the moment, we are using the 3 themes of opportunity, mobility, and sustainability. So the idea is that in term 1, the whole school is looking at opportunity, term 2, mobility, and then term 3, sustainability. So it fits in quite nicely with our 3 terms. Okay, so what does this actually look like? How does it look like in a school? How does it look like for planning? So we have obviously the theme for each term, like I said. So this term we are looking at opportunity. I have got little packs and hopefully we'll have some time for you guys to look at what our plans look like in a little while. But after the theme, we have a spark. Now, the spark is a question or a quote that will spark interest and inquiry for the whole unit. So that's your sort of starting point that you give to the children. And then you have 3 learning pathways within a term. And this is the main learning that's going to be happening to address the spark. And you need to have flexible timings depending on the unit. So the 3 learning pathways, within those you have your skills of geography, history, art and science, trying to make it as cross-curricular as you can, and those come directly from the National Curriculum Framework, okay? Which means that there is coverage and there is no chance of overlap, because what we were finding with when you were teaching through topics, at times what was happening was, for example, in year 6 I was doing we had a topic called Extreme Earth, and children were looking at volcanoes, and children would often say, oh, miss, I did this in year 3, or I already did this in year 4. Whereas if you're teaching using the skills for each year group, then there's no chance of overlap and there's no chance of repeating something that the children already know. And because the start point, the spark, once you present that to the children and they tell you what they want to learn about, it literally then is a case of fitting it into each pathway. So I'm going to show you a little bit more what that looks like. Okay, so here is an example of our of 1 term's work, what that might look like. So we've got year 1, we've got the sparks. So if you just want to have a look at those sparks. So these are the questions that we put up for the children to just get them thinking, to see what they're thinking, what their thoughts are on that question. And then the learning pathways, those are those 3 pathways that I was speaking about, and within that you'll have the skills that you need to cover of geography, history, art and science. And it is literally a case of, once you present the spark to the children, we don't show them the learning pathways, because then that would be guiding them into, this is what we want you to learn about. We as teachers know those, we have those in front of us, we have the planning in front of us, but we don't tell that to the children. So for example, year 6, presented them with who is in charge. I said, go off into your groups, you tell me, what does that mean? What questions is that bringing up? What could we learn about? And children came up with everything from who's in charge of Dubai, I want to learn more about how the government works in Dubai, all the way up to wanting to learn about what role does the UN play in the world? How can people like Donald Trump come into power? So quite talking about things that actually are quite advanced for their age. And it just means that it's open-ended and you're giving them something that they truly are interested in. So if I could just show you, could I just see this for a minute? In your packs, which you'll get a chance to have a look, when I'm talking about the skills, what we did, just to make sure that every single skill that is in those subjects is being covered. As a school, we have a progression skills map. Okay, it's in your packs. I've only printed this for year 5 and year 6 for the basis of this presentation. And in here, yes? Yes, I think there's some extras there, yeah, sure. So if you just want to take a couple of minutes to look through this, just to see how we've organised these. They're in the pack, so I thought maybe a few people could get together and just have a look at these. There you are. There you are, thank you. Okay. No, so this is what we've had, we've made in our school. Okay? So, what I would like you guys to do, and you are going to have to get together in groups. I've made sort of enough that you could work in groups of 4 just for a few minutes. What I thought you could do, because in your packs, there's one example for term 1, but this is for term 3. So what we have for the teachers each term, we have the EXPO learning journey. And for each year group, we've given them the spark at the top, which is what the learning is going to start from. And then these are your 3 pathways. Okay? And these that you're seeing here are the skills that come from this progression map. Okay? Which means that if the children say, I want to learn about this and I want to learn about this, you can fit that into these skills. So each term, quite clearly, then our teachers can say, we've taught this skill for geography, this skill for history, this skill for art, and this skill for science, and we're doing this all through the Expo 20 themes. So what I thought you guys could do, and in there's a little sheet for you to write on, if we maybe work in small groups, just in your rows probably, if you come together, just have a small chat. You're looking at year 5, so if you look at the skills for year 5 in the progression document, the theme is sustainability, and the spark, can you come up with some ideas of what the spark could be and what the learning pathway titles could be, okay? And you can use the one from term 1 as an example to help you. Okay, can you have a chat in your groups and have a go at this and just note some things down on this, okay? Yeah.
What is it?
So this is our entire learning journey for term 1. So these are all the skills that we are teaching them, okay? So what I was wondering if you guys...
Primary?
For primary, yeah. Yes, thank you so much.
Between you and all 7.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. So these are all the skills that in year 5 you need to teach across the whole year. So the idea is that we now, as a staff, we have these for each term. So this is all for opportunity, and it means that, say for example, you're looking at year 5, this is term 1. So the theme is opportunity, this is the spark, and then these are our 3 pathways. So what I'd like you guys to do is, if I'm saying that the theme is sustainability, can you, using these skills, think what could their spark be for sustainability, and what could the 3 titles be? Okay. Yeah? Have a go. Thank you. Yes? Sorry, these are the... I didn't realize so many people would be coming, but if you give me your email, I can certainly email things. Absolutely. I can take a note of that at the end, yeah? Yeah. Sure. So we have this for years 1 to 6. Yeah? So this is, these come directly from the national framework. So it means that all the skills are there, and then when we're planning and making sure that we're using the Expo themes, we literally, it's just a case of, right, year 5, we need to cover this across the whole year, let's slot them in. And then from that, we've made this one, yeah. So this is what we've made for, this is just for term 1, okay, for opportunity. So what I'm saying is, can you guys have a think then, if the theme is sustainability, what could be their spark, which is this, the question that they're starting from, and what could be the 3 titles? So look at year 5 for this one as an example. So this is, yeah, year 5. So for opportunity, their spark was, does change always bring opportunity? And the titles were Life Beyond Year 4, Developing Through Trade and Equal Opportunities. Okay, so just what could they do then for sustainability? Okay, takes a bit of getting used to, but the children really enjoy it.
The lady up here is wondering if you have another file.
Which lady here, sorry? Sorry, I was told that enough for 12 groups, so I don't know whether you just want to join on with the group. Apologies. If you leave me your email at the end, I can send you a copy. Yeah? Sure. There are 3 pathways.
The spark is given by them, right?
No, the spark we give them. That's the only thing we give them.
Right.
I know as the teacher that this term I want to cover these skills in geography, these things in history, and these things in art. How we do that depends on what direction the children go, because you might find that I Spy Dubai they're so interested in, we can spend 4 weeks on it. And then this bit are all plants the same. You might find actually 2 weeks later their interest is finished and we can move on to this. So we have to be flexible with how long we're spending on each one, as long as you are covering those objectives by the end of the year. That by the end of the year, I've covered all of these. Obviously, it's such a busy year, sometimes you might not cover every single one, but doing it this way, what that means is then covers, and you're not going to be doing anything that year 1 are doing, or you're not going to be doing anything that other year groups are doing. So we have a document like this from years 1 to 6. And if sometimes we can't fit all of these in here, and there's time, then they can always go back. But what we find normally is there's not enough time, and then we just try and whoever is on planning, they just start highlighting, right, we covered this, we've still got these left over. Okay, so what I was thinking you guys could do is have a think, imagine what spark could you have then. So this is term 1, so look at year 5. Sorry, where's year 5? Yeah, so this is the spark. Okay, so what could it be for sustainability, and what could the 3 pathways be? That's all, just the titles.
Okay.
Yeah, just have a chat. Yeah, that's all. You guys are looking at sustainability for, say, the next 5 minutes. And then the spark. So for opportunity for term 1, does change always bring opportunity? So what could the spark be for sustainability? For a year 5 level, think they're 9 and 10. And then the 3 titles for the pathways. Once you have your 3 titles, the objectives, automatically you then start slotting them in. Here we have one of these for each year group for each term. So it's just a case of they just have to plan the lessons in an innovative way, making sure all of the skills are covered. So all I want you ladies to do is come up with a spark and 3 titles. And then if you were to do it this way, all you then need to do is look at your objectives and just slot them in. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, I'm sorry that that's oversubscribed.
Senior and middle, so for me literally it is.
Okay, doke, hold on.
It's a very good idea. And
Yes.
it's very great.
It's taken a while. First staff were like, what? Spark? What's this? What's this? But what?
For us,
Hi guys, I did have a Padlet activity, but we're really low on time and the organisers are very keen that you do a feedback session at the end. I'm really sorry that there weren't enough resources. I sort of planned, but this session is over subscribed. Now, lots of you want me to send things out. I'm happy to do that. But can I just ask you to leave me your details at the end? I just need to run that past management to make sure I'm okay to do that, because we've put a lot of work into this. And if that's okay, then you will definitely be hearing from me. So, how did we find that? Get tricky? It is a little bit tricky at first. Once you get used to the terminology of what a spark is, what a learning pathway is, it literally is then a case of slotting in your objectives into those pathways. And like I said, you have to be flexible that within each of those pathways, it really depends on how much the children are interested in that, because sometimes you find you go into one of the pathways and actually they're not that interested. So then it is a case of get those objectives covered as quickly as you can and move them on to something that they are more interested in. So I'm just going to move us on very quickly. I'll just skip over this. So really, to end, I just want to speak about the mindset. This isn't something that is a quick fix or that happens overnight. It's taken us, I would say, 1 full school year before we now feel that, yes, okay, we're running quite successfully with this. It takes a lot of getting used to. There was a lot of work done from me as a leader. I couldn't just, you guys saw how hard this was. I couldn't just say to the teachers, oh, guys, come up with a spark, come up with learning pathway titles. This pack that you are seeing here, because we were piloting this, this was provided to them every single term. Okay? So each term, all they had to do was plan outstanding lessons using this and using the ideas that their children came up with. Of course, it's impossible to base everything around the children's ideas, but incorporating them as much as you can. And our student voice surveys have shown that children now do feel, yeah, I do have a say in what I'm learning. Because actually, we've got the evidence there. We've got all the notes from the children at the start, and we've got evidence that it's going into our planning. So it's about changing the mindset, but it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. But it is worthwhile because they're actually learning about real world problems, and it's relating to their local environment as well. Because as you can see from this, we've put a lot about Dubai in here. Okay? So I know some of you had questions, and I'm really sorry I couldn't get round to everyone. This is my email. Please feel free to email me if you want to take a note. Like I said, I'm going to find out if I can send out those documents, and I will send those out to as many of you as I can if you have requested them. And there's just the feedback that the organisers have asked that you do before we leave. So thank you so much.